नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 51, The Deliverance of Muchukunda, Text 21. एवं उक्ता स वै देवा अभिवन्द्य महायशा अशैष्ट गुहाविष्टो निद्रया देवदत्तया एवं मुक्ता स वै देवा अभिवन्द्य महायशा अशैष्ट गुहाविष्टो निद्रया देवदत्तया एवं मुक्ता स वै देवा अभिवन्द्य महायशा अशैष्ट गुहाविष्टो निद्रया देवदत्तया So there is two texts, text 20 and text 21. So we also first recite text 20 and read the translation and purport of text 21. Text 20. Varam varam vrinishva bhadram te rite kaivalyamadna eka eveshwarastasya Bhagavan Vishnuravaya. Translation. All good fortune to you. Now please choose a benediction from us. Anything but liberation. Since only the infant Vishnu Nidraya Devadattaya. By disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Addressed thus, King Muchukunda took his respectful leave of the demigods and went to a cave where he lay down to enjoy the sleep they had granted him. Purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following lines from an alternate reading of this chapter. These lines are to be inserted between the two halves of this verse. Nidrameva tato vavre saraja shramakarshita yakashin mama nidraya bhangam kuryat surottama sahibhasmi bhavedas ashu tathoktasya suraistada Swapam yatam yamadhetu bodhaye tvam achetana satvaya drishta matrastu bhasmi bhavatu tatshana. The king, exhausted by his labor, then chose sleep as his benediction. He further stated, O best of the demigods, may whoever disturb my sleep be immediately burned to ashes. The demigods replied, So be it, and told him that insensitive person who wakes you in the middle of your sleep will immediately turn to ashes simply by your seeing him. Chant prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padukamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Navita Shri Vishakhanadamsa Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatade Siddhare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratashe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadrathyam Jagannathaya Te Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, Pangum Langhayate Girim, Yat Kripatam Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam, Parmananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwar. Hare Krishna. I humbly seek blessings of all the assembled devotees here, so that we may be able to speak on this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam for the purification of our heart, for the glorification of the Lord and His dear devotees, as a service to our devotees, and for the benefit of everyone. Seeking blessings. So the devotee of the Lord is very focused, with no diversion, extremely focused on his goal. That goal is Krishna and nothing else. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vivayasitmaka buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushakha yanandasya buddhayo avivasayina. Krishna says that those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. They have very clear, one-pointed, focused goal in their life, that is Krishna. And their aim is one, Ekahi Gurunandam. There is only one goal, nothing else. And that goal is to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Whereas Bahu Shakhai Anandasya, O beloved child of Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branches. Buddhayo avivasayana. There are so many goals, then one's intelligence can't be fixed. So this is the nature of a devotee. And what is this fixed intelligence? Prabhupada, in the first line of the purport to this verse, Prabhupada says, there is strong faith that by Krishna consciousness, one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life. It's called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi or Vyavasayatmika intelligence. So that is the meaning. That means a devotee has full faith that all I need in my life is Krishna consciousness. All I need is Krishna, nothing else. Devotee, even though may be situated in a situation of very high allurements, chooses exclusively Krishna. And if anything else is offered to him, any other benediction except for Krishna, he considered that as distraction or as useless. And this is what we are seeing. This kind of complete focus, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, what we are seeing here in the life of Muchukunda. Apparently, just by reading this verse, when I was going through this section, these two verses for today to the Bhagavatam class, I was just thinking that what can be spoken? Apparently, it looks like that Muchukunda is so exhausted, and he is saying that just don't disturb me, just let me go to sleep. And that's what it looks like, that ask us any benediction, and Muchukunda is saying, okay, give me benediction, that let me sleep, and if koi mere ko uthata hai to jal ke raak ho jana chahiye. Looks like, so what should be spoken? But then, by grace of Krishna, I also refer to the commentary, and there Jiva Goswami reveals the inner heart of Muchukunda. that how Muchukunda's devotion is expressed in this asking of this benediction. And let us try to dwell into this subject. It is not some his attachment to sleep. Right? Let us try to understand this very, very deep subject matter. What is actually happening in this conversation. And we can learn a very Vyavasatmika buddhi, the one-pointed, focused attention of Muchukunda, not getting distracted to anything else through these two verses, which are the subject matter of today. And we'll try to understand that first from the commentary of Jiva Goswami, and then through many other examples, this very subject, this is very critical for our life. As in the modern time, there is always so much distraction, grossly and subtly, outside, externally and internally. And we need to learn this being complete focus on the lotus feet of Krishna, on our goal. And we learn from Mukunda Maharaj, the great exalted devotee who is showing this idea. And also from, we'll try our best to also discuss in whatever time we have from the same focus from Narad Muni and also from example of Mukunda. So this is what we intend to discuss in today's Bhagavatam class. So let us first discuss the current context of Muchukunda. So the verse, the text 20, the demigods, they are saying, Kartikeya, the general of the demigod, being very pleased with Muchukunda, he is saying, text number 20. Obviously, before we have heard yesterday that how Kartikeya said that my dear king, everyone in your kingdom who were there, they all are gone. Now that ages have passed, by the power of time, everything is finished. So, but still, after speaking that, yesterday's verse, Kartikeya further says that, Varam Viranishwa Bhadram Te, all good fortune to you. So, Jiva Goswami explains that by saying this is a general benediction, that Bhadram Te, all good fortune to you. But then the specific benediction is being asked by them. Kartikeya is saying that you ask some specific benediction, that is Varam, ask some boon. And what kind of boon? Immediately he says, because Kartikeya knowing very well that he is telling to a devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord. Pure devotee of the Lord, you say, please ask benediction. Everyone knows the only benediction he wants to ask is pure devotional service. It is spiritual word, So then immediately Kartikeya makes a point. Vrite kaivalyam adhuna. Oh, ask benediction, but except for kaivalyam. And Jiva Goswami says the word kaivalyam means freedom from samsara and attainment of the spiritual world. Or Sanatana Goswami also explained that word kaivalya means the lotus feet of the Lord. Exclusive devotion to the Lord's feet. So don't ask for this benediction, for exclusive devotion to the Lord's feet, spiritual world, liberation from this world, because this is not what we can give. Right? And in that way, indirectly or directly, they made very clear to Muchukunda that actually we are not of much use for you. Right? Because what benediction can we give? Because your only desire is spiritual world, your only desire is Krishna, and we are incapable of giving. And then next line Kartikeya says that don't ask us this benediction because Eka Ishwaras Tasya Eka Eva Ishwara Tasya. Because this kind of benediction can be given exclusively by Ishwara. That is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. He is only capable of bestowing this benediction. And why he is very special to give this benediction? He is Bhagavan Vishnu of Vaya. He is Bhagavan. He is possessor of all the opulences. He can give everything. We can't give. So in this verse, he's comparing about demigods and Vishnu. When Supreme Lord gives Vishnu, the difference is that He is possessor of everything. We are not possessor of everything. So He is Bhagavan. He is Vishnu. He is Vishnu means that He is spread inside and outside, and He has power to bestow such a condition, that is condition of spiritual world, anywhere, anytime He can provide. So He can do that. He can give liberation any point of time, but that's not possible for us. And aware, that is inexhaustible, because when we give benediction, then what happens? Whatever benediction we give, after that our power goes down. So in that way we have this calculations. Whereas He is inexhaustible, He can give unlimited benediction. All benedictions comes from Him. But we have very little power. So that's why He is the right person. In that way, indirectly or directly, whatever we can say, that demigods made it very clear that we are of not much use for a pure devotee like you, but still we are asking, if you like, you can ask some benediction. And that is the fact, for a devotee who is completely focused in his life for Krishna. Actually, demigods are of not much use. And that's what is the next verse is. Next verse is so important. Today's verse which is on the board. It says, 𝐿𝐿 ukta savai devan. Addressed us as the demigods spoke like this. Savai devan. Abhivandaya Mahayasha. So King Muchukunda took his leave. But it is said Mahayasha. So King Muchukunda, Maharaj Muchukunda is called as Mahayasha. Why Mahayasha? If he is Mahayasha, then why it is that the next line says Ashayishta Guha Vishtu. इतने महान यश है उनके और वो जाकर एक गुफा में जाकर सो गए. अरे तो इसमें महायश की क्या बात है? So that Jiva Goswami gives focused attention on this, that why Mahayasha? And then he says, he is called famous because of the following reason. What is the reason? He is thinking like this. What use are the devatas if only Vishnu can bestow spiritual world? Right? Devatas have no use. So then what I should do? So then he's saying, I do not want to see others. Anyways, my all relatives who were there, with whom I was performing devotion service, they were all gone. Time is over there. And here these demigods, they are saying that they can't give me Krishna. Then what is the use of this? Demigods, what is the use of this? People there also is all useless. Then what should I do? So I don't want to see anyone now. I want to focus on Krishna now. So what should I do? So I should sleep alone. So that's why I would like to sleep now. Alone. But where? Near Mathura, which is dear to Lord, until I can see the Lord. Because I only want Krishna. Okay, I am not interested in anything else. So what I should do? So what I will do now? I will go to Mathura, okay, or near Mathura, and sleep there and wait, because I know that Lord will come. Okay, and wait there for the Lord to come. Because I don't want anything else. So and we can see the whole pastime, we can understand this complete focus of Muchukunda was like that. And that's why we see that Lord was so eager to run towards him. And he knew that Muchukunda has no other desire except to see me. He don't want to see anyone else or anything else. So that's why Lord went personally and gave him the darshan. Very beautiful. All that is going to just come in the further verses. Just few verses. I think tomorrow class, yes. Tomorrow class you will see Muchukunda getting the darshan of the Lord. So, what kind of darshan? Because Muchukunda was so eager to see. He was only eager to see Krishna. Exclusive devotion. So that's what Jiva Goswami is saying. So therefore, because I don't want to see, I should sleep alone near Mathura, dear to Lord, until I can see the Lord. Therefore, I will ask the benediction of sleep. And for this reason, his fame was spread everywhere. Jiva Goswami said, that's why he is Mahayasha. Because he wanted only Krishna. And Further, Jiva Goswami explains that this cave, which is well known, is situated in the mountain of Davanpura, south of Mathura district. And it is, further Jiva Goswami says, in Varaha Puran, in describing Parikrama of Mathura, it is said to be situated within Mathura. There is a temple made to resemble the cave there. So, I don't know if anyone has visited this holy place of Muchukunda's sleep, but we should remember that when Muchukunda is going for sleep, it is not just I'm very tired, I'm exhausted, just let me sleep and forget the whole world. His whole point is that I don't want to be distracted. That's it. The whole point of his sleep is I want to be focused on Krishna, and if there is nothing around me which can help me remember Krishna, then better I sleep and wait till I get Krishna's darshan. So this is the devotees' exclusive focus. And this focus, this exclusive eagerness, intense eagerness to attain Krishna is the only qualification to attain Krishna. One cannot get Krishna by any other way. As Shri Ramananda Rai explained, answering to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's questions, explaining about the glories of unalloyed devotion to the Lord, he speaks this verse, which is also the verse spoken by Rupa Goswami in Padyavali, very famous verse. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kretam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukritir na labhyate. So where Rupa Goswami is explaining that Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati, or the pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness, rasa bhavita mati. So this is Krishna bhav, rasa bhavana is what is translated as Krishna consciousness. So this pure devotional service, Rupa Goswami is saying, kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. If anywhere you find it is being available, that means where it is available? At the lotus feet of the pure devotees. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Sadma means the home. So the lotus feet of the spiritual master is the home of Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means exclusive devotion to Krishna. So that is the place. So Shuddha Bhakti is available at the lotus feet of Shuddha Bhakta. Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula. Bhagata Seva Parama Siddhi Prema Nati Karamula. So that we understand that at the lotus feet of the pure devotees, the Shuddha Bhakti is available. So he's saying, Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate. If anywhere it's available, immediately purchase it. But how to purchase? You have to pay some price. As soon as we say Kriyatam, or in Bengali, Kinte ho gaye, right? So purchase. Purchase means always there has to be some transaction. You have to give something and you get something. It's not written there. Ideally, one should go and beg. Generally, we hear, okay, we should go and beg. But here, especially, the word is used kriyatam. One should purchase. Because Rupa Goswami is further saying, because there is some motive, you have to pay. There is a price to be paid, and then you get it. Else you don't get. And what is that price? Tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. So the only price is the intense greed. Intense greed to obtain it. Intense greed that I want it. And I will do whatever it takes. And that greed is shown by one's activities. One cannot say that I have greed, but what can I do? This is the problem, that is the problem. The greed is shown by one's resolute determination. Nothing can stop him. Right? So that is the intense greed to hear from the pure devotee, wherever the devotion service is available. And it is available at the lotus feet of pure devotee by hearing and serving the pure devotee. And it says, Janma Koti Sukritir na lapyate. And one should hence know that Janma Koti Sukriti means crores of lives of Sukriti. So cannot give that. Hence, one should know that one should not be very eager to increase his piety, especially the mundane piety. So one should know that the Sukriti will not help, and hence intense eagerness, which is again the question becomes that how to obtain this eagerness. What is the way out to obtain this eagerness? Jai Shishi Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So the solution is here. As soon as we ask how we get it, so Nitai Gauranga has made the life very easy and was very easy because they are bestowing that eagerness. So will we understanding this point? So we'll try to understand this eagerness from Narad Muni for some few minutes. So Narad Muni giving his life's example in first canto, 6th chapter. He speaks his own wonderful how he advanced in Krishna consciousness and how he perfected his life. On the request of Vyasadeva, he narrated the whole beautiful episode. And first, obviously, he explains the whole episode of how he met with Bhaktivedanta. That is a key point. That means he met with the pure devotees, and only Bhakti Sanjayate Bhakti, only an association of pure devotee can get pure devotion. So he got that seed. He heard very sincerely from them, and as soon as and served them very sincerely, got the remnants of the pure devotees. Got their profuse blessings from their heart. In that way, he got the full mercy. And then he took that mercy, and as soon as his mother left this world, which happened very soon because of his intense eagerness, he got that opportunity to move out of his home, and he went out of his home and went to so many different places, and finally, on one day he sat under the banyan tree and began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord. And it is explained that Yatha Shrutam Achintayam. That means he said, Narada says that I started meditating on the Lord Yatha Shrutam, as I had heard in Parampara. And Prabhupada immediately makes the point that one should always meditate on the Lord as per the instructions of spiritual master. As Prabhupada also mentioned about chanting Hare Krishna, same thing is for us meditation means mantra meditation, right? We meditate on the holy names, which is the Yoga Dharma, which is the easiest and the fastest and the safest way to attain the perfection. So, and there also Prabhupada explains about chanting Hare Krishna that offenseless chanting is chanting under the direction of the pure devotee. So when we, or direction of the spiritual master. So when we chant under the direction of spiritual master, then that is offensive. So that's why Yatha Shrutam Achintayam. So he did that. He heard very nicely, he understood, he got the blessings, and then he meditated accordingly. And what happened? What happened was the immediate effect was that as soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. Without delay, immediately he saw Krishna in his heart. So that was an amazing effect because of that. But then he says, Narada Muni further says, "O Vyasadeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by the feeling of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord." So in that way he went into such a deep ecstasy. But then text 18 is very important. And purport is very important. Then he says, Rupam Bhagavato Yatta Manakantam Shushapah Apashyan Sahasotasthe Vaiklavya Drumana Eva And then the Lord's form got disappeared. And then what Narad Muni says is, the transcendental form of the Lord as it is satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is usual when one loses that which is desirable. So Narad Muni became so perturbed because he got the ultimate goal of his life. So this kind of eagerness, which is being shown here, which is obviously obtained by the mercy of pure devotees, by following the instructions of the pure devotees, is very special, and the purport is very interesting. It is said that Prabhupada says here in the purport that the Lord is not formless is experienced by Narad Muni, but his form is completely different from all forms of our material experiences. For the whole duration of our life, Prabhupada says a very interesting thing. For the whole duration of our life, we go see different forms in the material world, but none of them is just apt to satisfy the mind. Nor can any of them banish all perturbance of the mind. So we have such eagerness, our eyes keep making us run to see so many forms. But none of these forms can satisfy us. Because the answer is, Prabhupada says, why it is so? Why nothing is able to satisfy us? Prabhupada says, because as a spiritual being, having eternal relation with that transcendental form of the Lord, we are life after life searching after that form of the Lord. And we are not satisfied by any other form of material appeasement. Very interesting. Because we are eternally related to Krishna. And we have seen the form of the Lord. And seeing the form of the Lord, and that's what we look for. We cannot be satisfied by anything, right? And that's why what we are searching is Krishna. As George Harrison, Prabhu, Srimad George Harrison, he says that everyone in this world is looking for Krishna. Some realize that they are, and some do not realize, but they are. But everyone is looking for Krishna. So we are all looking for Krishna, and that's why we can never be satisfied by any amount of sense gratification, by any amount of material form. And when we understand this, so this understanding can really help us to start focusing on exclusive devotion to Krishna. Because actually our only hankering is to see Krishna, to hear about Krishna. There's no other hankering. So, and if we try to, any other thing we try, we don't get satisfied. Now the question may be raised, as we discuss this little bit of this section. There's so much more depth in this purpose. But coming back to the point, the question may be raised that, okay, one has to see the form of the Lord, and after seeing the form of the Lord, one will become completely free from all incongruities, and the mind will be fully satisfied. But how is it? The question may immediately come that how is it we hear that the form of the Lord as deities, that is also form of the Lord, and it's not that this is some representation of the form of the Lord. It is some pratima or some. It is not some representation. The deity is the Lord Himself. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat prajetrananda. So He is not some deity, or some stone which is carved and now it is looking like Nimai Gauranga, Radha Govinda, and we have to worship Him and our praise will go through Him. It's not like that. Actually, here is the Supreme Lord who has descended. He is not that. He is something else. He has come here, complete incarnation. That's why he's called as Arch Avatar. He's incarnation of the Lord. Sometimes you may think that, oh, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnated, I was not there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnated some 2.5 months back in ISKCON Newtown, and we are there. Right? He incarnated, and we are here. And he is in front of us, and he is dancing and giving us mercy. It's not that he's some deity; he's there. Here is Supreme Lord. Now the question may come that how is it I am seeing Lord face to face, eye to eye, and I'm not transformed, or my mind is still not free of all incongruities, and what's happening? What's problem? So for that, let us enter into Chaitanya Bhagavat for some time, and try to hear a special discussion in Mahaprakash Leela. We are entering into Mahaprakash Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, to understand what is that missing, that just seeing. What is seeing the Lord? That's the topic. Topic is what is the meaning of seeing the Lord? And this is Mahaprakash Leela, the conclusion part, where Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving mercy to everyone. But there was one personality who was standing and he was not receiving mercy. He was standing just little outside. And all devotees were happy that they have received mercy, but simultaneously they were disturbed that why Mukunda is not getting mercy. And then Shivas Pandit finally asked that, my dear Lord, Mukunda is so special to you, why don't you give him mercy? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, because Mukunda he will not see me. Mukunda will not see me because he, one side he sings, he appreciates me, another side he goes to Mayavadi, associate with them, and in that way he beats me. So Mukunda will never see me. And Mukunda was hearing all this, and hearing this, his heart broke. And he was thinking that if I can't see Lord, then what's use of my life? Better I die. And then with some strength, he asked Shivas that, please ask the Lord, will I ever see the Lord? Will it ever be possible? And Shivas Thakur went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and asked, my dear Lord, Mukunda is asking, will he ever get your darshan? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that yes. प्रभु बोले आर यदि कोटि जन्म है तबे मोरा दर्शन पाइबे निश्चय. Lord said after millions of births he will certainly get my darshan. And hearing this, Shunila Nishchay Prapti Prabhuras Shri Mukhe Nishchay Prapti, that yes, certainly after millions of births. Koti Janma hai. So Mukund Sinchita Haila Parananda Sukhe. As soon as Mukunda heard from the Lord that he would certainly attain him, he became immersed in spiritual happiness. He began to enthusiastically dance while explaining, I will attain him, I will attain him. This way Lord Chaitanya's servant became overwhelmed with ecstasy. Preme de vivala haila Chaitanya Rapratya. So he became, so this is the eagerness. So one thing we are learning, the eagerness of the devotee. The devotee is completely patient and eager to see the Lord. And for him, he doesn't demand the Lord. The Lord should appear now. But rather he is simply eager to receive the mercy. And he has another thing is the complete faith, determination. He has complete faith that Lord has said this, then it will happen. After 1 million births, 100% I am going to see him. And then on hearing the statement, he will see me, Mukunda began to dance there in great happiness. Such is an ecstasy. On seeing Mukunda, Lord Vishwambar smiled and ordered, bring Mukunda at once. All the Vaishnavas called, come Mukunda. But Mukunda was so happy that he did not know what was happening. Prabhu bole Mukunda guchila aparad aisa mare dekha dharaha prasad. Lord said, oh Mukunda, you are freed from offense, come and see, take my mercy. Prabhu ragya sabe anila thariya padila Mukunda mahapurusha dekhiya. By the order of the Lord, all the devotees brought Mukunda, who fell on the ground on seeing the Lord. And then immediately the Lord said, get up, my dear Mukunda, you do not have even a fraction of offense. Your faults of bad association are vanquished. I have been defeated by you. I declare that you will achieve me after millions of births, but you have become freed from them within a moment. You were confident of that my words are infallible. Thus you have captured me in your heart forever. You are my singer and you always reside with me. I was joking with you because you were the proper candidate. If you actually committed millions of offenses, they wouldn't be considered offenses because you are so dear to me. That way Lord Shantanu pacified him. You are my servant. Your body is filled with devotional service. I constantly reside on your tongue. On hearing Lord's solacing words, Mukunda cried profusely as he lamented and condemned himself. And then, now here comes the point. After this, what Mukunda speaks is very special. That Lord is saying that now you see me. I am giving you my darshan. But what is this darshan? Now he says, Mukunda says, Bhakti na manilu mui ei char mukhe dekh le bhakti shunya ipai be sukhe. I am so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how I will become happy by seeing you? So seeing with the eyes is not enough, because unless I have bhakti, how can I see you? How can I be happy seeing you? The effect which just now we heard, Narad is saying that by seeing the Lord, the mind becomes completely satisfied, and all the incongruities, all the disparity in the mind, haziness in the mind, everything vanishes. What is that seeing? So let us hear from Mukunda. What is that seeing? And what is not the seeing? And that seeing is with bhakti. And what is not that seeing? Vishwarup tumhara dekhila Duryodhana, jaha dekhi bare vede kare anveshana. Duryodhana saw your universal form. Some people search throughout the Vedas to see. So people want to see universal form. Duryodhana saw it. Dekhayo samshe marila Duryodhan na paila sukha bhakti shunyera karan. Bhakti shunyera karan. So dekhiya, although he saw your universal form, but he was not having faith, and that's why marila Duryodhan, along with the whole Vamsha, he was destroyed. He did not attain happiness. Why? Because he had no bhakti. Hena bhakti na manila michar mukhe dekhi dekhi haibe ara mora prema sukhe jakhana chalila tumi rukmini harane dekhila narendra toma garuda vahane. So I am so wretched that I have not accepted devotional service. Since I am devoid of devotional service, how will I achieve love by seeing you? So am I really seeing you? Because when you went to kidnap Rukmani, all the kings saw you. They all saw you riding on the back of Garuda. During the Abhishek named Rajeshwara, all the kings saw your refulgent form. In the city of Vidarbha, you manifested your form that personalities like Lord Brahma desire to see. In spite of seeing your form, all those kings were killed. They could not achieve any happiness because they were devoid of devotional service. Kaha dekhi mare sab narendera gana na paila sukha bhakti shunyera karan. So without bhakti, it won't happen. Sarvayagya maya rupa karana sukara avirbhuta haila tumi jalera bhitara. So now it comes to Varadeva. In your boar form as personification of sacrifice, you once entered into water and held the vast earth on your tusk. Ananda prithvi lagi achaye darshane je prakasha dekhite devera anveshane. The demigod desired to see that form of yours, but then Dekhile hiranya apurva darshanam hiranyaksha. He saw that apurva darshan. Na paila sukha bhakti shunera kara. He was not happy because of having no bhakti. Then he says, Ar Mahaprakash Dekhila Tara Bhai, who's the Bhai of Hiranyaksha? Hiranyakashipu. He also saw your Mahaprakash. He saw your wonderful form, Mahagopya Hridaya Shri Kamalara Thai. So his brother Hiranyakashipu also saw a wonderful and most confidential manifestation of Lord who resides in the heart of Shri Kamala, Lakshmi. Apurva Narsimha Rupa Kahe Tribhuvane Taha Dekhi Mare Bhakti Shumnera Karan. So although this wonderful form is renowned as Narsimhadev, yet even after seeing that form, Hiranyakashipu was killed because he was devoid of devotional service. Hena bhakti morachara mukhe nai manila e bade adbhuta mukha kashina baila. I do not care for such devotional service, yet my head did not fall off. This is indeed astonishing. How were Kubza, the wives of sacrificial Brahmanas, the women of Mathura and the florist, all able to see your form? They were able to see you simply due to their devotional service. Yet Kamsa was destroyed at the same place in spite of seeing your opulence. I disrespected such glorious devotional service with my mouth. It is your mercy that I am still alive. The most powerful Sri Ananda effortlessly holds innumerable universes by the influence of this devotional service. He is so intoxicated by chanting your glories that he does not even notice the universes that are resting like a drop of one of his thousands of foods. So Ananda is in ecstasy, glorifying you. For him, universe doesn't feel any weight. Ananda independently maintains everyone. This is possible by influence of his devotional service. I am so sinful that I do not accept such devotional service. Therefore, I will not achieve the goal of life even after unlimited birth. On the strength of devotional service, Shankar became the husband of Gauri. On the strength of devotional service, Narada became the greatest of the sages. After compiling many scriptures dealing with Vedic religious principles and yoga, Vyasadeva did not feel any satisfaction at heart. The cause of his dissatisfaction was due to the fault of describing devotional service too briefly in the course of his elaborate presentation of the most confident knowledge. On the instruction of Narada, he elaborately described devotional service. Then his distress was vanquished and he delivered the entire world. I am insignificant creature. I have not accepted self-devotional service. So what power do I have to see you? So in that way, it was humility of Mukunda, obviously. Mukunda is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said the next line. Next line is saying that Mukundera kheda dekhi Prabhu Vishwambar lajjata haiya kisu korila uttar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became embarrassed, hearing Mukunda's such lamentation and humility, because Mukunda is a eternal associate of the Lord. But he is teaching us that what we need to see. So that's why seeing the Lord has to be qualified with devotion. And that devotion is what we need to beg from the pure devotees. Wherever there is devotion, that's why it says, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yati Kuto Vidabhyate. If you find anywhere, especially when the great souls, they come, they speak, we hear from them, or we read and hear from them, that is the way to attain bhakti. All bhakti what we have developed is all by the mercy of the great souls who have bhakti. Bhakti comes from the devotees. So when we have that bhakti, and then we see the Lord, then that seeing with bhakti bhavana will have that effect, by which our mind will be free from all disparity, will be completely satisfied. And then our eyes, our mind will never look for seeing any other form than the beautiful form of Shri Nimai Gauranga. Shri Nimai Gauranga Bhagwan ki jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki